When I was asked to do a little talk about hospitality as a tribute to Rita, I felt very honored. Hospitality is not only important, but it's our value number 17. So, over the many years, YWAM have experienced so much hospitality in so many countries and in so many continents. We therefore should be the most hospitable people in the world. Rita once shared with me that she was born with the gift of hospitality. As a little girl, she would leave notes for her brothers on their pillows when they came back from work. Most of us are not born with this gift, but we can all learn, and Rita taught this so well. Hospitality is not a hobby of a few, but one of the requirements for elders, be they male or female. Actually, there are wonderful examples of male hospitality. The Bible tells us to be hospitable. Hebrews 13:2 tells us, don't forget to be hospitable. And Peter tells us to be hospitable without grumbling. In Romans it says that we should serve one another. And there is the beautiful translation of the Passion that we should eagerly welcome people into our home. There are also many examples. Abraham, who hurried to welcome his guests, and he gave them water, a rest and a meal. I think that's a very good recipe for when you meet guests. Zacchaeus, of course, welcomed Jesus after Jesus had invited himself. I like that. Martha and Mary were very hospitable. The widow of Zarephath, of course, was another example who created a place of hospitality. And Jesus himself cooked fish for his disciples on the beach. I'm so happy I was not invited because I do not like fish. What is hospitality? It is not to impress, but to serve, to create an atmosphere where people can find peace so that the Holy Spirit can work. Hospitality is not a cultural thing, it's not a money thing, it's nothing to do with age, status, or personality, but it's a matter of obedience, as we saw already in Romans. So, most of us have to learn it, but since it's one of our values and a requirement, we'd better learn it. We honor people when we are hospitable. We learn from other generations, both in the past and in the future. And we see the value of other cultures. I think that is such a wonderful thing of hospitality. We also learn the value and see the value of individuals. The word comes from a Greek word meaning love for strangers and care for others. Be yourself. We cannot all be like Rita. In Dutch culture, we have hospitality really only for family and friends, but it goes much further than that. It also involves strangers. Read about the culture of your guests. What does a Hindu eat? What does a Muslim eat? What are their values of timing? A friend of mine told that they invited some Turkish friends for dinner. I think it was 6 o'clock. They waited till 9 and the Turkish friends still didn't come, so they ate the food themselves. But the Turkish friends showed up the next day. So it's important to know the timing of people. God made our planet so beautiful that we should enjoy His hospitality by living on this beautiful, beautiful planet. What are some keys for hospitality? Pray for your guest. that is something that Rita would always emphasize. Pray for your guest when you're preparing a room or a meal or going shopping. Be in time if you have to pick them up. And something I learned from Rita is always use your nicest things for your guest. Don't skimp on it. Use your best cutlery and best dishes. Give them your schedule so that they know what to expect. But, even more important, give them rest. And there are many ways to be hospitable. The easiest and quickest way is offer them water or coffee or tea. Offer them a meal. You can invite a group in your home. Sometimes it might mean moving furniture if there's a lot of people coming. Sometimes you can take kids in that need a home for a little bit. We had friends who, I think they took in 10 kids or something. Not everybody is expected to do that. Beg for people if you do not have enough place to invite them in your home. The most intrusive thing, I think, is to have overnight guests. Look after them well. However, there is always a however. Hospitality is not just something for a woman, it is something for a whole family, and it's a requirement for elders. Discuss with your family when you invite guests, and don't just only invite your guests, but also invite the guests of your children, and when you have them, your grandchildren. And if your family doesn't agree, don't invite them. Just go with the guest somewhere else. Single people love to be invited into a family, and it might be messy and noisy, but they love to be part of a family. And single people, you can bless a family by taking them out for dinner or an ice cream. Our boys still remember one of our old friends taking the boys to McDonald's. Make hospitality a way of life. It teaches our kids to share, to value other people. I always loved the example of Caroline, my good friend, when the doorbell would ring when they were having dinner. The kids would put some of the food on their plate back in the serving dish so that there would be enough food for the guests as well. Teach your kids manners. Someday they might eat with the president or the queen, who knows, or the king. Sometimes you have to say no to people who want to come. I once had to say no to an alcoholic. Be especially nice when you have speakers, because they've often come from a long way, and it's nice to feel special. And one last thing, be nice when you are a guest. Take a little gift, be thankful, and make sure you are not a financial burden. One of the things Corrie often said was that when she was invited and people couldn't afford anything, she just asked for a cup of hot water. So this has been my great pleasure to talk about hospitality as a tribute to Rita and to honor the gift that she left us with.